As you can see, we've got snow behind me. Generally not a big deal, but today has been one of those days where just everything is going wrong. Right here, I walked down and I've got a tree down on the fence. So, and I actually have cows. They're not down here now, but they are in this pasture. So I've got to go get that cut off the fence. Second is, for some reason, we lost water pressure. I'm on a well and we have no water. Okay, so I filmed half of that and the phone's cut off. Whew, it has been one of those days. We got most of this off the fence. I thought I was recording it and I didn't, but I'm still gonna have to come in here and cut. But at least it's off the fence. The fence will be electrified. Hey guys, it's the next day. I know I was filming some, yeah, cows are mad. Our well is gone for the ag well. We can't figure out what. Can't find a leak. We cut it off yesterday, just trying to let it recharge if it was empty, and there's still nothing. There's not even a sucking sound, so I don't know if the pump is not working. Luckily, we have another well for the house, and so we have water to our house, but all of our in-ground waters and such out here, water to the barn and stuff, we don't have. So I am lucky. I showed y'all before, we have these big cisterns that were put on the property a while back. Those are still working, so we can get the cattle water that way. So I'm going to open up an area, let the cattle down in there. There's also some streams and stuff. Typically I don't want the cows in there, but at the point we don't have water up here right now, you got to do what you got to do. So they'll be able to get water in there and they'll be good. And then it's a matter of figuring out what's going on with this well. It's part of farming. The other downside is my Gator's still in the shop, and so I'm literally having to almost walk across the property to get things done. I can take my tractor, but just some of the hills are pretty slippery, and that wasn't even starting yesterday because the battery died. The battery is like 8 years old. So that, coupled with we've had pretty cold temperatures here for Virginia, mid-teens the last probably week at night. And then we got a couple more inches of snow last night. So we are gonna run this fence. We'll let the cattle over, and then I'm guessing we'll go ahead and just make a call to somebody. We called someone yesterday about the well, some plumber guys, and they checked the current and all that stuff, and it's getting electricity, all that's working. We let it recharge this morning, so cut it off last night, cut the pump off, and then this morning went and just stood at some strategic locations where we could kind of see if by some chance there was a leak in a pipe busted or something somewhere, and we can't find any busted pipes. I can't find any water shooting up out of any of the lines that run underground. Therefore, my only assumption is either the well is dry or the pump's not sucking anything out of the well. Let's get this line run, and we'll see if we can figure out what's going on. All right. Real quick, we have a newsletter, the Sunday Solopreneur. This comes out every Sunday about 10 a.m. I talk about how to market your products on your farm, how to use social media and websites to grow your farm. I also talk about farming, raising cattle, chickens, pigs. We go through it all, and it's about building your farm business. Sign up now, and you also get a free PDF on how to use ChatGPT to write your social media, to write your newsletters, and to help write product descriptions for your products. This is free download for signing up for the newsletter. One newsletter every 1 to 2 weeks, no spam, I promise. Check it out. I think you'll get a lot of value in learning to grow your farm or homestead, and it's free. All right, back to the video. All right, so you can see on the back, we've got our reels hooked up. Now that's a 5-strand, maybe a little overkill, but I just want to make sure they stay in. I've got a clamp. I'm going to take off the other polywire fence that I have up that's keeping them in the pasture, and put that clamp on this fence, therefore it'll electrify that fence. Then they can get down, get some water. Let's see if we can figure out what the heck's going on with this well. All right, well, in case you're wondering why I'm wearing this strip, I've had a bad sinus cold for like the last week now, and this just helps us to breathe. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's open. They'll come on through. I'm gonna kind of Pied Piper them. They're heading on down to the stream, which is good. All right, as you can see, everybody's a little spicy this morning. They've got water now. I'm actually walking down here with them, not to pull them down here, but we have a cistern, and I'm pretty sure there's some ice on top that I'm gonna need to get. Be nice to have a Gator right now. This has just been a series of things. The Gator being in the shop, so I don't have it for all this snow, and obviously I'm not bringing my truck or anything down here. It's just a little more rugged and steep than it looks. All right, you see, getting some water out of the stream. And again, a lot of times I'll actually run netting to keep them out of this stuff, but so they can have access to their cistern over here. That said, you know, just in a position where they need water, and it's my responsibility as a good farmer to make sure they have it. So now I've got to see if I can find a rock here. That looks like a good one. See if we can bust this up. Man. Farming would be fun, they said. Start a farm, they said. Yeah, all right, we got the water broken up. Cows went down there for some reason. So they'll be back here to get some water. And I just talked to my wife on the phone, and we got a well person coming. We're gonna get them here and then see if we can figure out what's going on with this well. All right, let's do it. What you doing, big mama? What you doing? There's some water. That's one of my older girls. She does a really good job, super docile. She got a baby somewhere that's about 4 months old. We're gonna shut these guys actually out to the pasture for the moment. That way the well guys can get in, because the well is actually in a pasture where the cattle are, were. She is one of those cows that, you know, we raise them all for beef, and we don't really breed here, but she is one that I'd almost keep as a pet. And that's something, if you're raising cattle, you'll come across that. We all know that we raise them their food, we raise them for beef, but we want to give them a good life. But that said, there's the select few that you'll actually get attached to that are just docile, come when you call them, good mamas. So we'll see what happens with her. Holding cattle back obviously can be detrimental to your farm. You know, that's an animal that you're feeding that is not giving you any return. But sometimes, you know, you get into farming for the lifestyle, and just to have an animal like that that's docile, here mooing, that is the return itself. You know, it's not always about the money. Obviously you got to pay the bills. I don't mean that, but just something to think about. Something you'll probably encounter if you're just starting out. If you do have cattle, I'm sure you've experienced it. I'm about to die walking up this hill, so let's get up here and we'll get set up for the well guys. All right, figure I'd take a break while I'm waiting on the well guys to get here, and put a couple more hay bales in the creep feeders, and those things are doing awesome. I talked about that in the last video or video before, where we purchased those guys, and they are doing amazing. I'm able to slide them around, move them. Cattle do tear up an area around them, which is a given. So my goal is eventually to actually put them on the fence lines and then put a concrete pad around them, and then they're just permanent. In our context, we have winter sacrifice lots, so it's not gonna hurt to have them in the same place. It'll also actually concentrate their manure, and then I can kind of clean it up and go spread it where I need to with the trusty old manure spreader. That said, we put 2 hay bales in. Those weren't some of the best looking bales. We have a lot of Johnson grass that comes up, and this is just some of that Johnson grass. Not that it's bad for the cows, but it's just really stemmy. So we'll put that in there. They'll still go through it. They'll pick through it. Whatever they don't eat will become bedding, and they'll be good. So that's done. The wife is over at the barn now, taking care of the horses. Again, we're having to manually haul 5-gallon buckets of water over there because we don't have water. And I know some of you are probably thinking, what about the water wagons you talked about, you used to use with your chickens and stuff? Well, they work great, except for when it's freezing. When the temperatures get low enough, they freeze in there. They freeze the metal pieces where the water comes out. They also freeze within the hose. So they're just probably not valid. They're not gonna work. It's still getting in the teens here for the next couple of nights, so everything will be totally frozen the next day. So who guessed that one of these things were leaking? That's what happened. We had just a huge leak. And I don't know why I specifically checked for this morning. I don't know if maybe just when I checked this morning, the well was already so dry that it wasn't pumping anything out. Usually when these things leak, you've got one of these little holes at the top here and water shoots out of this thing. So you know it's a leak. That said, looking on the ground, there's a ton of water here now. And that wasn't here this morning. Again, all this started yesterday. So I don't know if maybe that froze up this morning. We got snow last night, which then covered it. And so everything looked just snow covered and didn't look like there was any leak. So there you go, live and learn. Good news is the well is on now. So I'm gonna head back up, make sure all the waters are filling and make sure that the cows have water. So we got through it, we've got water now. Good news is we had a second well that goes to the house that apparently had the brass fitting busted at the top and was shooting water everywhere, and that's why I wasn't getting any water pressure. So we did get that fixed. The guys are telling me I need a new water tank because I guess that big blue water tank is supposed to have air in it and mine's completely full. So I'll research that. But joys of home ownership or farm ownership. And it's just part of it. So at least we got water. I'm grateful for that. We've got heat. I am gonna now trek it way back up that little pass right there that you see. Yeah, there's the house way up there. And it's a good little trek, and this is the third trip today down here. And I am worn out. Again, Gator's in the shop, so and now I've let the cattle in here, so it's hard to get the tractor in here, and it's just, I'm gonna go chill, probably make some tea or maybe have a alcoholic beverage, and we will sleep good tonight knowing that I've got water, we've got heat, everybody's good. Hope y'all got something from this. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.